Hey there, future tunnel boring machine operator. Getting ready for that big interview.
Well, you've come to the right place.
We're going to take a deep dive into the world of TBMs. You know those machines that carve out tunnels for subways and highways and...
All sorts of massive projects.
exactly. Imagine the power at your fingertips, shaping the landscape beneath our feet.
It's really quite something.
Today we'll be using some resources from RoleCatcher to get you prepped and confident for those interview questions.
We'll look at real examples.
Get strategic advice on how to answer them.
And even explore some career insights to give you a broader perspective.
Sounds good.
Let's make sure you're ready to showcase your skills and land that dream job.
All right, let's jump right in. We've got this interview questions repository from RoleCatcher. And trust me, these are questions you're likely to face.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So first up, describe your experience operating tunnel boring machines. Seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
How do we make our answer stand out?
You're right, it seems simple on the surface. But the interviewer wants to see more than just a list of machines.
Okay.
They want to understand your depth of knowledge and experience. They're trusting you with a multi-million-dollar machine and a team's safety.
That's a big responsibility.
When you describe your experience, bring it to life with details. So instead of saying, I operated a hair and neck TBM, talk about a specific project, like where you had to adjust the torque of the cutting wheel to navigate through challenging ground conditions. Explain how you monitored the machine's performance, made adjustments, and ultimately kept the project on track.
That's a great point. It's about showing them you understand the nuances, not just the basics.
Exactly.
Instead of rattling off machine names, we're painting a picture of our expertise in action.
And be prepared for follow-up questions. They might ask, what were the specific challenges you faced with the ground conditions? Or how did you know when to adjust the torque?
Okay, so be ready to get specific. Next question. How do you ensure safety while operating a tunnel boring machine? Obviously, safety's QGE in this role.
Absolutely. Safety isn't just a priority, it's paramount.
Right.
When you answer this question, you want to convey your deep commitment to safety. Talk about pre-shift checks, making sure everything is functioning properly, from the cutting wheel to the communication systems.
Yep.
Mention how you stay vigilant about ground conditions, potential hazards like methane leaks, and how you'd respond in an emergency. Lockout, tagout procedures are crucial.
Wow, those lockout tagout procedures sound important. It's like a safety net for everyone.
They are. And don't be surprised if the interviewer digs deeper. Like, describe a time when you had to implement emergency procedures. Or what are the key safety regulations you adhere to?
It's like they want to know we can handle the pressure and make smart decisions even in a high-stakes environment.
Precisely. They're assessing your judgment.
Okay, next question. How do you handle unexpected situations while operating a tunnel boring machine? Let's be real, this job probably throws a curveball or two.
It definitely does. This question is all about showcasing your problem-solving skills. Think of a time when you encountered a challenge during tunneling.
Okay.
Maybe you hit an unexpected rock formation or equipment malfunctioned. Walk them through your process. How did you assess the situation? What steps did you take? Did you collaborate? How did you prioritize safety?
So it's not about pretending we're perfect. It's about showing we can think on our feet and find solutions.
Right. A potential follow-up question could be, what was the most difficult challenge you faced and how did you overcome it? So be ready to share a compelling story.
Okay, next up is maintenance. The question is, how do you maintain a tunnel boring machine?
Preventative maintenance, the unsung hero of efficiency.
Right.
Think about the TBM as a complex system. Talk about your familiarity with the hydraulics, the electrical system, and that cutting head. Highlight your experience with lubrication, component replacement, and troubleshooting.
So things like checking fluid levels, inspecting seals, and replacing worn cutting discs.
Exactly. Those details demonstrate your hands-on experience. And be prepared to go even deeper. They might say, walk me through replacing the cutting head seals, or how would you troubleshoot a hydraulic leak?
Wow, they're really getting specific.
They want to see that you understand how each component contributes to the operation of the TBM.
It's like they're testing our knowledge, but also our passion.
Exactly. A well-maintained TBM is crucial for success.
All right, let's move on to communication. RoleCatcher's next question is, how do you communicate with the crew during the tunneling process? Why is communication so critical in this kind of environment?
A tunnel boring machine operator isn't working in isolation. You're the conductor of an orchestra, and your crew is the symphony.
I like that analogy.
Effective communication is the music that keeps everyone in sync. The interviewer wants to know that you can clearly convey instructions, updates, and any concerns.
So it's not just about giving orders. It's about creating a shared understanding.
Precisely. Talk about your experience using systems like two-way radios,
Mm-hmm.
hand signals for tight spaces, and protocols for reporting incidents.
So if I notice water infiltration or ground settlement, I need to communicate that clearly and quickly.
Exactly. And be prepared for follow-up questions that test your ability to adapt. Like, how would you communicate a complex technical issue to someone with limited experience? Or describe a situation where miscommunication could have led to a safety hazard.
Okay, now we're talking. It's about being adaptable and clear. Let's see what's next. Well, this one sounds like a story. Have you ever encountered any obstacles during the tunneling process, and how did you overcome them?
This is your opportunity to shine. Share an experience that demonstrates your problem-solving skills. Think back to a time when you encountered an obstacle, like unexpected ground condition or a technical malfunction. How did you assess the situation, develop a solution, and implement it safely? The interviewer wants to see how you handle pressure.
Right. So instead of just saying, we hit a snag, I'd explain how we identified the issue, consulted with experts, and came up with a plan.
Exactly. Be prepared for follow-up questions like, what were the specific safety considerations, or what did you learn from that experience?
These questions help them see how you grow from challenges.
Okay, this next one is all about precision. How do you ensure the accuracy of the tunnel alignment? Why is getting that alignment right so important?
Accuracy is everything. We're not just digging a hole, we're creating a precise path. If the alignment is off, it can lead to costly rework.
Wow.
And even safety issues.
So we're talking about making sure that tunnel goes exactly where it's supposed to.
You got it. Highlight your familiarity with laser guidance systems, surveying techniques, and your ability to read technical drawings. Explain how you monitor the TBM's position, make adjustments, and work closely with surveyors.
It sounds like attention to detail is key here. It is. The interviewer might ask, what are the tolerances allowed and how do you ensure you stay within those limits? Or, describe a situation where you had to correct a deviation.
Okay.
Precision and attention to detail are essential.
Okay, this next question throws a little variety in. What is your experience with different types of tunneling methods?
Yeah.
So is it all TBMs, or are there other ways to dig a tunnel?
While TBMs are amazing, they're not the only tool. There's also drill and blast, cut and cover, and microtunneling.
Yeah.
Each method has its own advantages,
Okay.
depending on the project.
So even if my main experience is with TBMs, it's good to have some knowledge of these other methods, right?
Absolutely. It shows you have a broader understanding and are adaptable. Even if you haven't used all the methods, familiarize yourself with the basics.
Makes sense. I'll definitely brush up on those.
And be prepared for comparison questions like, when would you choose a TBM over drill and blast and vice versa? Or, what are the unique safety considerations for each method?
All right, time to showcase our experience. What is your experience working on large-scale tunneling projects? This feels like a moment to really impress them.
It is. This is where you highlight those projects that have pushed your skills.
Mm-hmm.
Have you worked on subway tunnels that stretch for miles, water pipelines?
Yeah.
Share those experiences. Talk about your role, the challenges, and how you contributed to the project's success.
So it's not just about name-dropping the project, it's about showing our impact.
Right. Instead of just saying, I worked on the XYZ tunnel, quantify your experience. For example, I operated a TBM on a 10-kilometer tunnel, managing a team of 5 and achieving a tunneling rate of 50 meters per day.
Wow, those numbers really paint a picture.
Exactly. And be ready for follow-up questions like, what were the unique logistical challenges? Or how did you manage your team's performance?
They want to know we can handle the big leagues. Okay, last question from this set. How do you handle tunneling projects with tight deadlines? I have a feeling this is a common theme.
You're not wrong. Time management is critical. In your answer, emphasize your ability to plan and prioritize tasks.
Right.
Talk about your experience working under pressure, adhering to schedules, and coordinating with other teams.
So it's about being organized, proactive, and able to make tough decisions.
Exactly. They might ask, how do you deal with unexpected delays? Or describe a situation where you had to adjust the project plan.
Wow, we just tackled a whole bunch of tough questions. It's amazing how much goes into operating a TBM. It's not just about the technical skills. It's about communication, problem solving, and leadership.
You're absolutely right. And don't forget, RoleCatcher has some awesome AI-powered tools that can help tailor your answers. But first, let's take a quick look at some broader career insights from the RoleCatcher Career Guide for Tunnel Boring Machine
Oh
Operators.
yeah, that sounds interesting.
It's packed with information.
Right.
It really digs deep into the realities of the profession, from the exciting perks to the gritty challenges.
Okay, so let's talk perks. What are some of the things that make being a tunnel boring machine operator so awesome, besides, getting to drive a giant machine underground?
Well, aside from the coolness factor, the guide highlights the high earning potential. You're working on projects that are essential to a city's infrastructure, so your skills are always in demand.
Makes sense.
Plus, these projects are often government funded, which often means good job security. And let's not forget the satisfaction of working on projects that literally shape the world. You're creating the tunnels that will carry subways, highways, water pipelines. It's pretty incredible.
It's like being an underground superhero. But like any superhero, I'm sure there are challenges to face. What does the guide say about the downsides?
Right, it's not all smooth tunneling. The guide is upfront about the fact that this job can be physically demanding.
Okay.
You're often working long hours, sometimes in shifts, and the environment can be challenging. You're working in confined spaces, often with limited maneuverability, dealing with noise, dust, and the potential for claustrophobia.
Yeah, being surrounded by tons of earth and rock doesn't sound like a walk in the park. And I imagine there are safety risks too.
Absolutely. The guide acknowledges that working underground comes with inherent risks. You're dealing with potential hazards like ground collapses, water intrusion, and encountering pockets of methane gas.
It's not for the faint of heart.
It's not. It requires a strong commitment to safety and constant vigilance.
Okay, so it's tough, but rewarding.
Uh,
Got it. Now, let's say we make it through the interview. We're on the job. We're crushing it. Where can we go from there? What does a typical career path look like?
The career stages section breaks it down nicely. You typically start as an entry-level operator,
Okay.
assisting senior operators, observing, learning the ropes, and gradually taking on more responsibility.
Okay.
From there, you progress to a junior operator where you're operating the TBM more independently and starting to make some of those critical decisions we talked about.
So you're building your skills and gaining the trust of your team.
Exactly. As you gain experience, you can move up to a senior operator role. At this level, you're not just operating the machine, you're leading a team, overseeing more complex operations and troubleshooting.
So you're becoming a leader, a mentor, and a problem solver all rolled into one.
That's right. And for those who excel in leadership, there's the lead tunnel boring machine operator position. At this level, you're managing multiple TBM operations,
Wow.
developing strategies for efficiency and safety across large-scale projects. You're the conductor of a whole orchestra of TBMs.
Talk about a career crescendo. So what are some things an operator can do to stand out and keep moving up?
The guide emphasizes continuous learning. Technology is constantly evolving, so staying up to date is crucial. Think
Right.
about it. Automation, remote control, and data analysis are already changing the game.
So it's not enough to just master the machine you're operating today. You have to be ready for what's next.
Exactly. Taking courses, attending conferences, and getting certifications can really set you apart. It shows you're committed.
It's like showing them that you're not just an operator. You're a TBM enthusiast.
That's the spirit. The guide also suggests building a portfolio of your projects, a showcase of your skills. Include details about the projects you've worked on, highlight your successful operation, and your ability to handle challenges.
It's like a highlight reel.
Exactly. And don't underestimate networking. Building connections with other professionals can open doors. Attending events, joining forums, even connecting on LinkedIn, all of these can help.
So it's a combination of technical skills, continuous learning, and building relationships that will really propel your career forward. Okay, so we've covered the interview questions, we've got a glimpse into the career path, and I'm already feeling more prepared. But what about RoleCatcher's AI tools? You mentioned they could help tailor our answers and get feedback. I'm really curious about that.
Let's talk about it. This is where things get really interesting. Remember all those questions we just went through? Well, imagine having an AI-powered tool that helps you craft the perfect answers tailored to the specific job you're applying for. That's what RoleCatcher offers.
Wait, so it's not just generic advice, it's like having a personal interview coach.
That's a great way to put it. Their AI can analyze job descriptions, identify the keywords, and help you incorporate those elements into your answers.
That sounds amazing. So instead of just winging it, I can go into the interview feeling confident.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just crafting answers. RoleCatcher's AI can also analyze your resume and identify any skills gaps.
You mean it's going to tell me if I'm missing something crucial?
Yep. Let's say a specific certification is highly sought after. The AI will flag that. Or maybe you have experience with a particular TBM that's relevant, but you haven't highlighted it. The AI will pick up on that.
So it's like having a career coach who's meticulously reviewing my application.
Precisely. It's all about taking your application from good to great.
Okay, I'm sold. Now, what about those practice questions? I know we can't predict exactly what they'll ask, but is there a way to get some feedback on my answers?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher's AI-powered interview practice tool is a game changer. It gives you access to a massive database of practice questions, all categorized by job role.
So I'm not just practicing random questions. I'm focusing on the ones that are most likely to come up.
Exactly. And here's the really cool part. You can record yourself answering, and the AI will analyze your response, providing feedback on your delivery content and even your use of keywords.
Wait, it analyzes my delivery too, like how I'm speaking.
You got it. The AI can detect subtle cues like your tone of voice, and it will offer suggestions.
Wow, this is amazing. It's like having a personal stylist for my interview skills.
It really is. And remember, practice makes perfect. The more you practice with RoleCatcher's AI, the more confident you'll become.
This whole deep dive has been incredible. We've covered so much, from those nerve-wracking questions to the exciting career path, and now these incredible AI tools. I feel like I've leveled up my job search game already.
That's what we're here for. It's all about equipping you with the knowledge and tools you need.
Speaking of which, the tunnel boring machine operator FAQs section had a question that really got me thinking. It asked, as technology advances, what new skills might a future tunnel boring machine operator need? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question, and it speaks to the ever-evolving nature of this field. We've already touched on how automation, remote control, and data analysis are changing the landscape.
It's like the field is evolving right before our eyes.
As these technologies advance, TBM operators will need to adapt and acquire new skills.
It really is fascinating to think about how this field is constantly evolving.
Exactly. You might need to be comfortable with advanced sensor systems, interpreting real-time data from the TBM, or even operating remotely. The ability to adapt to new technologies will be key.
So it's not just about mastering the mechanics of the machine, it's about staying ahead of the curve and embracing innovation. That's a great takeaway.
It is, and it highlights the importance of continuous learning throughout your career.
Well said. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of tunnel boring machine operators. I hope you feel as pumped as I do.
We've covered so much ground, from tackling tough interview questions to exploring the career path and even peeking into the future.
Remember the resources we discussed today, especially those from RoleCatcher. Their career guide, interview question repository, and AI-powered tools can give you a real advantage.
And don't forget that thought-provoking question. As technology advances, what new skills might a future tunnel boring machine operator need? Let that spark your curiosity.
I'm already thinking about it. To all of you gearing up for your interviews, we wish you the best of luck.
Go out there and dig deep, both literally and figuratively.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.